Hey everybody, good morning. This is Dr. Mark again here in Santa Fe, New Mexico this morning. Beautiful, relaxed Sunday morning here, and I hope it's the same wherever you are. I wanted to spend a few minutes today doing a Your Questions Answered segment on the topic of intention. And it's a pretty broad topic, and I try to keep these Your Questions Answered videos pretty short so I can put them on Instagram as well as Facebook and YouTube and on our website at drmarkcure.com. But just in a few words, so I get this question all the time, and it's really foundational to the work that I do with clients every day in coaching sessions, in my writing, in everything else that I interface to the world with. And intention is the act. I'll say it's an act. It's an action of creating thoughts or allowing thoughts that are consistent with goals that you would like to achieve. And it gets a little bit confusing for people because I think a lot of people feel like intention is this very laborious process, something that takes a lot of time and attention and focus and work and really is something that's very easy to get off track with, and therefore intentions don't manifest for most of us. And that's absolutely not true, and I hope I can dispel that myth today. I want you to think of intentions as simply the same definition as a belief, but they're different from beliefs, and I'll explain that in a moment. But an intention is simply a thought that you keep thinking over and over. And I've heard that same definition given to belief. A belief is a thought you keep having over and over. So in terms of intentions, though, the belief itself doesn't have to be there. It's simply thinking a thought, even in what I call robot mode, even if there's no belief behind it, but putting that thought out to the universe, the energy of it going out of you into the ethers around you in a way that you can begin attracting the benefits of having things come into your life that are on that same wavelength, that are consistent with that same energy that you're putting out. So it's a little bit different than a belief, because in the intentional world, you don't need to believe what it is that you're intending, but you need to keep putting the intention out anyway. So lots of times intention in the beginning is a process of just operating on sheer faith, of putting out to the universe something that you want without without necessarily having any real belief that it's going to come back to you, but just having some faith that it could happen, that there's a possibility that what I'm wanting could come back to me in due time. So I think that intentions do over time become beliefs, and that's part of their power, is that if we think something over and over, as we say with beliefs, then they become a belief. And if we think an intention over and over, it does in time become a belief, but the belief doesn't have to be there first. So it's really important to almost program yourself to think about what the object of your intention is as often as you can, even if it's very briefly, just for a couple of seconds a day, a couple of seconds several times a day. It doesn't have to be something that takes a lot of your time or takes a lot of effort. And that's why in the intention world, we often say put reminders around you, write sticky notes, put objects that remind you of whatever it is that you're intending to bring into your life. Write notes to yourself, put up photographs, put anything around you that connects you, even subconsciously, with whatever the object of your intention is, so that you can stay on that energetic pathway of attracting that into your life in the way that you want to attract it. I did it recently with my trip to Maui that's coming up in a couple of weeks that I've talked about and wrote about in a blog at drmarkcure.com last Monday. And it's amazing. It is absolutely a magical process when you put things out, step aside, let the universe do its work to help you manifest them, and then receive what it is that the universe gives you, keeping in mind that the manifestation of what it is you're saying you want could be something better. It doesn't have to be exactly the way you imagined it. My trip to Maui, I imagined I would go there on my own for a week and just kind of get away and be secluded and write, and I was really, really excited to do that. Well, it turns out that now that I'm going to Maui, Carlos is joining me for a few days. We're going to do some videos that are absolutely perfect to do in Maui, given the work that we're moving into with Paradise Rediscovered and that book nearing completion. I hadn't even thought of that. That wasn't part of my intention, but the universe handed me that as something bigger and better and more perfect than even I could imagine. So always be open to that. So the process is simple. You decide what it is you'd like to manifest. You state or say that you're willing to put that energy out as often and as in as many different ways as you possibly can every day. Let the magic of the universe work. Step aside. Don't get into controlling and figuring out how to make it happen. Simply say, this is what I want, and I'm going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it and doing things consistent with it. Step out of the way, let the universe do its magic, and then be open to receive what it is that you've requested from the universe. So it's really that simple. And if you don't know whether you believe or not if intentions work, remember that intentions also do not have to be something positive. They can work in many different ways in our lives, and we often get outcomes in our life that we're not so happy about. But remember, every one of those started with an intention. A worry is an intention. If you worry about something incessantly and then suddenly it manifests in your life, you've put out an intention and you got what you asked for. The universe doesn't judge it. The universe doesn't say, I mean, it may give you something better when you want something that's positive, but if you want something that may not be a very good thing in your life, the universe is going to say, okay, if you're connected with that energy, we're going to give this to you. And it's not as a punishment. It's not as an I don't care. It's simply the universe saying, okay, we'll give this to you and you'll learn from that experience. And next time, perhaps you'll do it differently because you will have evolved. And life is all about our evolution. So remember, if you're not sure if manifestations work, if you're not sure if intentions work, think back to some of the things that you've already experienced in your life, whether you wanted them or not, and ask yourself in retrospect whether they were things that you spent time thinking about, whether you wanted them or not. And sure enough, you're going to find that you did. So that's my message today, a little bit about intention. Let us know your questions in the comments below. Keep the emails coming as well. Go to drmarkarcuri.com, download our free downloads there, and be sure to sign up for our Transformational Tips newsletter just once a month. Great tips and other information to share with you there. Thank you so much. Lots of love and gratitude from Santa Fe, New Mexico again this morning, and we will see you in a few days on our next live video for Chapter 9 of Paradise Rediscovered on Wednesday evening. Ciao for now.